Blair, thank you for joining me once again.
I love doing combat chats.
We have a lot of questions from the community, a lot of them.
And apparently you decided to ask them in a sauna.
Yes.
Because it is really hot in here.
The hottest room in the building. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay, so will there be a stamina system? Are we using a stamina system in Crowfall? Are we going to be using stamina for blocking, sprinting, jumping? What are we doing?
So every character has a stamina bar.
Okay.
And based on the archetype is what they use it for. All of them use it for sprint. However, like the knight uses his for his blocking. The confessor uses hers for her dashing about. And the legionnaire uses his for dashing about as well.
Cool. So you listed some dashing about, some blocks there. How many abilities are we talking per archetype?
Wow. So actual abilities that we have to make is somewhere in the tune of 15 to 20 per character.
Okay.
But we are hiding them behind combos and branching combos, which we did get online this time since, remember we briefly discussed it in Combat Chat 1. We now do have branching combos. So even though it only looks like it takes up one button on the tray, it may lead to about 5 or 6 actual powers behind that one.
Crowfall combat chat.
So how are global cooldowns handled? Do we have them?
Actually, we don't have a global cooldown. So we're more like an action game in that you can use your abilities when you want to, and the animation is what's locking you into that ability until that ability completes, and then if you or I decide that it needs a cooldown because it's just so awesome, we will rather arbitrarily put a cooldown on there.
Yep. We have the power. Not you. What is the current plan with damage over time effects? Are they stackable at full effect, or are we just going to say diminishing returns on that each time you apply a fire debuff on me?
That would really suck if you brought multiple people of the same type, and our dots didn't stack.
That's true.
So we're going to let them stack. They stack rather nicely, I believe, after the most recent bout of tech we got.
Yeah.
And there is no diminish on having multiples of the same stacks.
Not right now. I mean, that's not to say that we will never do diminishing returns, because, let's be honest, never say never.
Well, we should probably say never. But for now, we're not going to put it on there.
Great. Whoever wrote this question is a bad person. All right. Let's talk about melee for a second.
All right.
Are all melee abilities cone-based? Will they be hitting multiple targets? How's that going to work for friendly fire?
Man, whoever wrote that question is a bad person. I really think so as well. Let's see. There's a couple parts to that question. There is a bunch of cone-based for some of the archetypes. There is some powers that hit a target. The closest one that your reticle is probably looking at.
Yep.
So what was the third part to that one?
How's it going to work for friendly fire?
Oh, man. You're really going to have to watch where you aim that.
Yeah.
That's the downside to the friendly fire.
We'll get to friendly fire eventually.
Yeah.
Crowfall combat chat.
What progress have you made?
Me?
Yeah, you personally.
Really?
You personally.
Okay.
With projectiles. Aiming projectiles.
Wow. You did a lot of work with projectiles, too.
I did most of the work with projectiles.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You didn't do anything to do with the pitch. Or the explosion on the end.
That was a Mark.
And in fact, that was Mark.
That was the unsung hero, Mark Borland.
Yes, one of our engineers who did most of the work on projectiles.
Yes.
We just asked him for cool things with projectiles. But the cool thing that we have with projectiles now is we can do pitch, which means we can aim upwards. So a guy on the top of a hill, it will go towards where the reticle is.
Yep.
And if he's too far away, the projectile will explode when it runs out. Right? When the lifetime of that projectile is such that we've said, all right, time to go away, it explodes. If it's fireball, for example.
Right.
An arrow projectile probably wouldn't explode.
Unless it's a splintering arrow let's not do the design stuff right here. Okay. Blair.
Totally.
Is there a range limit on the projectiles and arrows, like, say, in other games that are using arrow-based action combat?
With projectiles.
With projectiles.
Well, we just talked about projectiles in the previous one.
We did.
And a projectile will certainly end itself after a certain point. We're not going to let a projectile shoot forever. Right? It's just, that would be silly.
Sure. Are we ending it through time or distance or both?
Oh, right now we're doing it through time, and to determine how far it goes, we set the speed of that thing.
Yep.
So in many cases, we're making some bigger, slower fireballs, so you have the chance to get out of the way.
Which means we would make it 6.5 seconds instead of 3 seconds if it was faster.
Right. So generally, we're trying to keep within a range, I would say.
Yes.
That's a good way to look at it. We're not going to 100 meters with a projectile, because that would be silly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're keeping it kind of short, and they will kind of go away after a period of time. And if they do something like explode, they will explode when they go away. So which is cool about that, because you can aim a projectile over the head of somebody, and if it explodes above them, it will do a splash effect.
So, thank you, and we'll see you soon.